Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Sarah, Common Color student. Today with elite students will speak loud and be proud. That is about the Moroccan under the theme of cultural diversity. Public speaking is one of the most important and the most dreaded forms of communication. In the working world, public speaking is a vital skill to have. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with Sheikh, who represents the famous folk dances of Moroccan folk.
First, I want to thank my dad for being here, because he's always making me. Today, I brought with me this treasure. Certainly, you are all wondering what is inside. Well, it represents our cultural value of our country, which I will share with you right now. Famous folk dances of Moroccan folklore. This is what we are going to talk about today. Moroccan art reflects many cultural and ethnic backgrounds which have merged and blended in Morocco. To begin, I will talk about Regatta dance. Regatta is an artistic dance for men based on agility in movement and speed in coordination. It is one of the most outstanding characteristics of the folklore of the eastern parts of Morocco, particularly in the regions of Oujda and Berkane. It is performed in rows or circles, as you can see. Nevertheless, there are some other dances like Ahwash. Ahwash is a wonderful group dance with a large number of dancers wearing traditional uniforms. The dance begins with the singing of women's songs, followed by the Ahwash dance, which depends on physical movement, during which the shoulders and hips vibrate and the body swing evenly. The Ahwash dance is widespread in the regions of Marrakesh, Agadir, Ouarzazate, and Square. Ahidos in Amazigh means the collective dance. The dance takes a form of two groups of men and women. They face horizontal or parallel, like going backward or forward. The leader of the group is called Sheikh. The dancers engage in their dynamic and light dance, the art of poetry. Ahwash is spread in the regions of Ahidos, Knefra, Ifran, Azro, and Tmisa. Well, my full chest is a testament to the wealth of my country. I hope we will have more opportunities to let the rest of the chest shine. And thank you.
Oh, you're here, guys. Hi everyone. Salam alaikum. Thank you. My name is Dia, and today I'm doing a little show. After a long research that I made, I find something that shows our cultural diversity, and it's gonna be my today's subject, which is the Moroccan dialect. When I say the Moroccan dialect, what first comes to your mind? Yes, right, Darija. Well, as you know, Morocco is the land of many arts and big history. Besides cultural diversity. When I say the cultural diversity, I'm talking about Arabic, Amazigh, Jewish, etc. Since long time ago, Moroccan land has hosted many civilizations, which are Arabs, Berbers, Romans, Spanish, Andalusian, both Muslim and Jewish. So that the Darija is a mixture of many cultures and many languages. Otherwise, the majority of our Morocco's population are Berber and Arab by identity. And then, more than the third of that population speaks Amazigh, which is itself a complicated recipe of Tamazight, classical Tamazight, with Arabic, Hebrew, and some Spanish words. Well, Moroccan dialect, or as you know, Darija, is one of the strongest and irrigated dialects that have been integrated for many of years, hundreds of years. There are so many historical, intercultural, and many factors who play that role, which made it a variant from many languages that changes with the geographic set. Since I talked about the geographic set, I would love to talk about our different ways of pronouncing a word in Arabic. I mean, Darija. Let's give some examples. Like when I say you in Darija. Yes. Someone would say Nta, another one would say Ntina. Ntaya maybe. So that's different ways of pronunciation in only one word. I've told you in Darija. What is this for you? I've told you. Good lick. Someone else? Yes. That's the variety in our language. But that difference is what makes our union. Finally, I want to say that our dialect it's got life, it's got history. I want to say that our dialect is a legacy, is gorgeous. It was the thank you. I'm sure all of you have heard stories and folktales from your grandparents, right? Yeah. Me too, actually. But there is this one story that really mocked me and made me look for answers and do research. And that story is called Hikayet Sitt Banat, aka the Seven Girls Fairy Tale. Once upon a time, there was an Amazigh farmer who had 7 beautiful little daughters, whose mom died. After his father remarried, the stepmom hated his daughters and asked him to get rid of them. One day, under the pressure of his wife, he took them to the woods. He spilled a bag of cereals and asked them to collect them one by one. After it started to get dark, he snuck away. And after they were done collecting all the grains, they started looking for their dad. And since they did not know the way back home, they were lost. and didn't know what to do, so they decided to continue looking around while carrying the bag of cereals. While wandering around, they heard a screaming voice from a faraway cottage. They rushed towards it thinking that they can have some food for dinner after a long day of work. The closer they get, the louder the screams until they reach a huge door that looks small from afar. At this moment, they realized that the screaming voice was from a crying baby. Suddenly, they felt her presence behind them. The giant mother wolf turned quickly into an old little woman. The younger sister was the only one to notice the mother wolf transforming into a woman. And the old woman then said, "What are you guys doing out so late?" And the seven sisters said, "We don't know our way back home." So the old woman then invited them inside. Once they entered inside the house, the hungry baby who was named Jejet stopped crying, thinking that the seven girls were food for dinner. The mother wolf took some of the cereals from the bag that they brought and cooked dinner for them. Then Mother Wolf had an idea. She thought that it's better to eat the seven sisters one by one while they were sleeping, so that none of them could run away. So the old woman then said to the sisters, "Since Jejet loved you so much, what do you think of making him sleep with you and leave the younger one to sleep in my bed?" At this moment, the younger sister understood, and the other sisters too, since she told them about the true nature of the old woman. But Mother Wolf had a strategy. She thought that after the seventh howl, she will start eating them one by one. As time went on, Mother Wolf fell asleep and the child too. But the sisters remained awake. After they made sure that both Mother Wolf and her child were unconscious, they switched the younger sister with Jejet and started looking for a way out, but the door was too big to be able to open it. They noticed the stinky ball skin behind which they hid, and at the seventh howl, the Mother Wolf woke up and found herself eating her own child's face. This made her irritated and immediately started looking around for the seven sisters. She opened the door and started to look outside. The sister then snuck away and went as fast as they could on the other direction of the holes. The Mother Wolf smelled them as soon as they weren't hidden behind the stinking ball skin. Mother Wolf, extremely furious, started chasing the sisters and while swearing and blaming them, "I ate my son because of you. I ate my son because of you." The sister then climbed on the rock and prayed for it to rise and fly towards the sky. The rock then flew to the sky away from Mother Wolf. This is not the end of the story, but I will stop here as this part is the most relevant to us. As this part is... If you... This story that my grandma used to tell me, it actually can be found in ancient European civilization. And an astonishingly similar tale exists in the Greek civilization. Atlas, the titan that Zeus made him carry the sky as punishment, also had 7 beautiful little daughters. Orion, the giant hunter, fell in love with his daughters of Atlas, so he started chasing them while they were praying for Zeus to save them from the giant hunter. After 7 years, Zeus transformed them into 7 doves who flew to the sky. Notice that the same ingredients are showing up again. Someone is chasing 7 women who flew to the sky. Well, we can interpret the similarity between the 2 tales because they were close to each other geographically. Nevertheless, there were a wall painting at the Nefertari of a bull following 7 cows. These 7 cows were the manifestation of one goddess, and the goddess's name is Hathor. Well, in reality, I don't really have the exact folktale of Hathor, but a bull following 7 cows really raises eyebrows and might have a connection with the other folktales. Well, we can hypothesize the cross-cultural interaction between all these civilizations as they were connected geographically. But the most fascinating and unexpected discovery is that the exact same tale that my grandma used to tell me can be found in the folklore of the Apache in North America. This realization made me go crazy. Civilization on America was completely disconnected from the rest of the world for thousands of years. The only land that connected them was through Siberia and Alaska, which was submerged by water. America remained disconnected from the rest of the world, but still had the exact same tale in the folklore of the Apache. How is that possible? Well, in the folklore of the Apache, the 7 women were dancing and playing in the woods. Then a grizzly bear started chasing them, so they climbed on the rock and prayed for it to rise them towards the sky. Well, there it is again. Notice the similarity between the tale which my grandma used to tell me and the Apaches. They are very similar, and they both have the same rising rock elements. Bear or bull chasing 7 women who end up flying to the sky. Let's reflect on the other stories together. If you guys notice, in all the stories, the 7 women end up flying to the sky. So the question here is, does the sky hold the answer? Well, the stars were the greatest show that entertained humanity for centuries. When dark jewels appeared in the sky, that's fascinating. Travelers relied on them to navigate, but what applies to us is that they were material for creative imagination, which our ancestors used to create beautiful stories and folktales. The order in the sky and the way they appear to us, and the luminosity allowed all our ancestors to make form out of them. A scorpion, a balance, a bear, a dog, which are called constellations, whose you all may know them as astrological signs. There are so many constellations in the sky, but the most famous ones are only 12 because they helped us create a calendar. The constellation that we are interested in is the one of the warrior, known in Arabic as Al-Jabbar, or in Greek mythology as Orion. Wait, we heard that name before, Orion.
Yes.
Isn't he the one that was chasing the daughters of Atlas?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, there is another question. Are the daughters of Atlas also in the sky? Wait, there they are. 7 beautiful and bright stars close to each other, and they are part of the Taurus. Which are part of the Taurus. The mystery is clear enough. The Arabs call them Thuraya, and the origin of the word, the ancient Egyptian language, Atrayas, designated with 7 cows of Hathor. These stars were very inspiring. People were wondering if there were 6 or 7, and it is likely by observing the stars, our ancestors created beautiful stories. And since there were 7 beautiful bright stars, our ancestors imagined them as beautiful women, and this story was characterized by beauty and fineness. Unbelievable. It is actually unbelievable. These all these civilizations, despite their differences, all have the same story. The same ideas that created belief that caused wars is the same ideas that created stories of beauty and fineness. Humanity has neither time nor civilization. Humanity emerged when it sees beauty. 7 beautiful stars in the sky allow all people and all our ancestors to create beauty that were transmitted throughout generations. As humans, there are so many causes that unify us. COVID-19 is a perfect example. Even though it's tragedy, it united us. And as the adage says, difference is of the essence of humanity. And thank you.
Good afternoon. I hope you all are having a good time so far. My name is Amal Baba. I'm 15 years old and I'm a Common Core student. So, you guys miss weddings, right? Because I do. The delicious food, the atmosphere, and of course the gossiping between all Moroccan listeners. But what I miss the most is the music. The wonderful and amazing music that I love. So, can anyone name me the type of music that we listened to just now? Yes, correct, Andalusian music. And today, I decided that I'll make you travel in time with me to learn about its history. So, we are in 789. Abu Hassan Ali ibn Nafi, better known as Ziryab, was a composer, a musician, a oud player, a teacher, and also a poet. This man of many talents worked and lived in Iraq, in Northern Africa, and also in Andalusia of the medieval Islamic period. So, Ziryab was introduced to music from a very young age, and his teacher was the accomplished and talented man, Ishaq al-Mawsili. So, now we arrived to 809. Ziryab gave an impressive performance for the Caliph Harun al-Rashid. And so al-Mawsili told him to leave the city. I know, not very nice. So we arrived to 813 when Ziryab traveled around the world until the Prince al-Hakam, the Umayyad Prince al-Hakam invited him to Al-Andalus in Spain. Until the Umayyad Prince al-Hakam invited him to Al-Andalus in Spain. Even though in his arrival in 822 the prince was dead, the prince's son invited him again. So let's see what happened 635 years later, in 1492. So, Isabella I, the queen of the castle at that time, started to expel Muslims and Jews from Spain, and also burn Muslim books. Nobody is nice here, let's say. So, then among those books were those of Ziryab. And fortunately, the Andalusian music that was born in Cordoba had a second life after the Spanish Reconquista. So, at Andalus at that time. Were founded schools in Morocco, such as schools in Rabat, Fes, Meknès, Tetuan, and also in Oujda, such as the first associative framework dedicated to Andalusian music in the whole Morocco. It's the well-known association in Andalusia. So, anyways, it's after the Muslims and Jews people took refuge in these cities that the Arab and Andalusian music has taken root and trees even today in its different styles like Shabi, Andalusi, Ghamati, Mihon, Suna'los. Anyway, so our little time travel is already finished, and to finish my speech, I will let you listen to my favorite type of music, Arab music.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. So first I would like to present myself. I'm Ayub Hadim, Common Core student. And before starting, I would like to thank Khalil for organizing this event that gave us the opportunity to express ourselves. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I will take you on a trip around Morocco. Are you ready? We are in our lovely city, Oujda. When I say Oujda, what comes to your mind first? Yes, Karan. I mean, if you came to Oujda and you didn't try Karan, what are you waiting for? And the portable chickpeas meal that you can find everywhere. Then we have Gza, which are kibashers. And that's the old Medina. We have Zaht Birthday Zuhab, Bab al-Gharbi, and other fabulous places to visit. Oujda is also ranked as the first city of mosques in Morocco. Now we're going to the north, exactly to Tangier, the North Bride. You may notice that the blue is a dominating color. The reasons go when the Jewish settled first in Morocco. So they painted their neighborhoods called Milah in blue because it was a holy color for them. By the way, all the Moroccan cities where Jewish settlers have Milah except Oujda. We have also Solar Agiz. I mean, what a name! And something like when you say Tangier, you must go to the Heracles caves. Who has ever seen it? The Heracles cave. No one? Come on. Okay. I mean, that's for me. That's an amazing view. Like I've never seen such a view like that. Come on. But I've also, Tangier is the point where the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea together make a fabulous view. Now we're going to the middle, exactly to Fes, the scientific capital. Now the question, why did they give it this name, scientific capital? Well, the reasons are quite simple. Fes has a lot of madrasa, or school, such as Qarawiyin, which is the first Islamic school in the whole world. Then we have Ras al-Bulaniya, At-Ta'in, and other places. We have also got Dibah, where people take the skin, clean it, the leather, sorry. Clean it, color it, and use it then for other products. Now we're checking on their neighbors, Meknas. Meknas has Lehdin, which is a large space like Jama al-Fna in Marrakesh, which has in front of it Bab al-Mansur Temple. There is also the mausoleum of Mullah Ismail nearby. And now we're going to the capital, Rabat, where we find Hassan Tower welcoming us. We have also Sarugaya, when people used to take their project and sell them there. Then we have the necropolis of Shada, founded by the Phoenicians and the Carthaginians and the banks of Belgrade, a long river that comes from the Atlas Strait to the Atlantic Ocean. Now we go to Casablanca, the White City. The new economic, technologic Morocco. In Casablanca, we have Medina Qadim. It's like Zara here in Jeddah, which is the old city, the old Medina. Casablanca also has something that makes it special. Jamal Hassan Tani, with its, how can I say, this fabulous architecture, Islamic and Andalusian, with the half surface and water and the other half. We have also Nevada, for who likes skating and rap freestyling. Now we go to the south, the Moroccan Sahara. In south, there isn't monuments, but there is the Sahara, which is itself a big monument that not everyone has. But Morocco is blessed having the Moroccan Sahara. In Sahara, you can try people's food, riding camels, and why not even having a night in a tent. People also come from the whole world to Dakhla to practice their favorite sport, which is surfing. Morocco is like a meal who has different flavors. The salty one, the sweet one, the hot one. When you put all these flavors together, it gives you a tasty meal. This good taste in Morocco is our cultural diversity, which gives us a coexisted Morocco with love and tolerance. It was Ayo Hinton. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So first of all, let me present myself. I am Marwa and I'm a Common Core student. And as I may seem, I am 15 years old. And I'm sure you're not. And if you are, you know what I'm talking about. But guys, we have 15 minus 1, which is the year of the quarantine that we spent at home because of the coronavirus. In this year, I had many projects about trips and discoveries. Mainly, a project to read in a book, which is reality. My parents are native from Figig, and that gives me the origin from that city. My trip to Figig as a kid made me enjoy a beautiful life, a simple life, and a warm human relationship. So now, I'm sure you all already heard about Figig, right?
Yes.
And I'm aware that you don't know where it is exactly. Figig is an oasis located in the southern tip of Morocco. It's an essence in the middle of the desert. It's unbelievable how you can find a place full of water sources in the middle of the arid deserts. This city is divided mainly into large lands of palms and Sevaksur. I'm from Znado, and as all Luxor, it is characterized by its own genuine and historical way of building. During the day, men usually go to work on their farms, where they cultivate all what they need to live, from fruits and vegetables. One of the common vegetables usually cooked with couscous, kror. It's so delicious. And we cannot forget the amazing fruits, dates, and different type of dates. Resyan, of course, and the queen, Aziza. The most delicious and beautiful and wanted one. One of all the factors that help them have all those bounties is the methodical irrigation system. Water comes from a source called Zadens and goes by turn to all the farms in Figi. When men go to work on their farms, women usually gather in the same house and make beautiful clothes, shlalib, slahem, and amazing carpets from wool. They take the wool, wash it, paint it, prepare it with lumshud, brush it with lukardash, and make threads of it from muslin. Figig is still preserving its cultural heritage. Nowadays, all the women still wear harik. In weddings and specific events, there is traditional music known by Ora. And traditional dishes, starting by dates with klila and buttermilk, couscous with vegetables, and the famous treat with hummus and speed. Now, my best parts, my memories from Figi. Whenever I go to Figi, I feel blessed. I have always been impressed by the supportive human relationships there, which is full of love and peace. There is no fights and no offenses. They have safety. They help each other. They are productive, generous, and simple. Now, as a teenager, and from all those memories that I remember from Figi, I understood the value of the good human relationships, full of love and peace. Human relationships that are simple, generous, productive, and just healthy, that can be translated to our daily life, to our relations with our classmates and our teachers in class. And that can just lead us, without any doubt, to success. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mona, and today I'm going to talk about idiomatic expressions, or limtal, as we say it in our Arabic Darija. But before that, I want to ask you a question. Would you please tell me some idioms that are typically Moroccan? Oh, that's a good one. Oh. So, good everyone. There are lots of examples of idioms and I'm going to give you two of them. So the first one, can you guess it? This one? No one? No one can guess it? Oh, it is that's good. It is and in English it is once bitten, twice shy. According to me, I do not think that I'll have the time to be afraid or shy when I'll be bitten by a snake. Well, I think that I will kick the bucket, but I will pass away. But this expression means that someone has failed when trying to do something, is careful or fearful about doing it another time. Another example, which is اللي ما عنده فلوس كلامه سوس, and that means money talks. Do you imagine money talking? No. Well, I do not. It means that someone who has money is powerful and has a prominent place in our society. So what I wanted to tell you by these idiomatic expressions is that they are metaphorical and they can't be translated. But translation comes up by giving an equivalent to another language in order to bring the sense a step closer to the origin meaning. So, and also, Moroccan people are really good at creating idioms, if we can say it, because some of them are funny and some are deep, as they mean more than each word denotes. And that means each idiom represents a slice of culture, and that idioms carry culture, so and language in a general way carries culture. So, based on the above, we realize more that Morocco has such an incredible linguistic cultural heritage. But are you ready for a piece of advice? Yes! Okay, so it is good to be open to different countries by learning their language. However, don't forget that you, all of you, are Moroccan people. So please preserve your own culture and your own identity. Thank you.
You recognize this song, don't you? Yes. Amazing! Yes. Hello everyone! First, I want to thank Calliope and everyone that helped make succeed this amazing event. So, as you must know, that our beloved country has a rich heritage, and when it cares about its traditions. And when it comes to weddings, Moroccans consider a special occasions, as it most of the times happens once in a lifetime. That's why we as Moroccans try to make it a memorable experience. I'm happy to ask you, our dear moms, our treasured grandmas, what makes our wedding ceremonies so special? Can you?
Music, food,
clothing. Yes, exactly. So I think that we all know that Moroccan weddings differ from region to region. From Oujda to Tamza, to Rabat, to Marrakech, to Agadir, to Laayoune in the great Moroccan Sahara. And this difference is what makes our precious country one of the best, if we didn't say the best cultural diversity in the world. So let's get started by the most interesting part of each Moroccan wedding, which is preparing for it.
And as we say our language, زواج ليلة تخميم عام. The bride family has to buy all the necessities that their daughter needs. But in general, the money comes from the husband and it is called mahr, or the stock. You know it, right? Yes. And this is an obligation according to Islam. The necessities include shita. And now, let's talk about this stunning Moroccan dress. So, shita is a Moroccan traditional woman's dress, just like Moroccan kaftan is worn for celebration, particularly weddings. It is composed of two major parts. The husband family has to prepare the setup for the wedding and buy the suits and a jabador, a traditional male dress for the authenticity of the ceremony. Here is the wedding week. Moroccan weddings are in general composed of three major parts, which are the tradition of giving gifts, which is called tour, henna tattoo ceremony, and the night of the party. So let's begin from the beginning. Tour. This tradition is characterized by the fact that the husband gives to his wife and her family gifts. These gifts are various from gold, expensive jewelries, silk for traditional dresses, perfumes, dried fruits, and other gifts depending on the means of the husband. They are presented in cone-shaped objects, mainly constructed from wood and decorated with golden threads. After 5 days, that means 2 days before the marriage, it is time to celebrate henna tattoo ceremony. During the ceremony, the bride wears a green tshita, and that's because henna color is generally green. Wait a second. Have you ever wondered where henna came from? No. So I'll tell you. Henna is originally from Egypt in the time of Cleopatra. Nowadays, it is mostly known in Morocco because of its breathtaking shapes. Let's continue. As we said, the bride puts henna on her hands and her feet, and the party is celebrated with women only. Here is the wedding day, the night that everyone is waiting for. It can be in the wedding home or in the husband's house. At least a member of each family has to be in place early to welcome guests. But the party in general starts after Al-Isha prayer. The bride and the groom are the final people to enter the ceremony, but it is not as simple as we say it, because it's a very unique tradition, as the spouses makes their first entry not by walk, but on what is called Maria. A group of men hold it in the air while the guests are celebrating them, and sometimes throwing flowers, candies all over them for good luck. You can hear Moroccan used all over the place in that unique moment. When they finish, they sit in the traditional couch of marriages and do an important thing, which is when the wife gives to her husband milk and dates, and so do the husband, in front of the guests. The date and the milk are meant to represent the sweet life that the spouses will live, and it is believed that they will bring happiness to the couple. During the ceremony, the bride changes outfits several times, depending on the region. But I will give you some of the principal ones, starting here, from our city, Oujda. البلوزة الوجدية, a traditional women's dress that women in eastern Morocco wear. الجوهر أو اللبسة الفاسية. This dress comes from two different cultures, the Jewish culture and the Moroccan culture. Women's Ijbala region in Morocco wears atazir. This outfit is from the Andalusian fashion. In the Souss region, the ashat is the traditional wedding clothing and it is composed by three major parts. And in our southern region, الملحفة is the traditional wedding dress. And this dress came from the incredible innovation of Moroccan Saharians. During the wedding, the meals are served also vary from region to region, but the two principal ones are الحم بالبرقوق, a Jewish Moroccan meal which is composed, as its name said, with dried plums and lamb meat. اللحم دجاج بالزيتون, Moroccan meal which is composed of chicken and olives. I want to end my speech today by asking God, finish this pandemic so we can again enjoy and taste the unique charms of Moroccan weddings. Thank you.
5, 10, 20 years maybe, I would have never imagined that I'll be standing here today in front of a wonderful audience. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are enjoying this so far. I introduce myself. My name is Hiba Kash. I'm 15 years old and I'm a Common Core student. Today, my friends and I are trying to pass on a message through these presentations with one goal in mind, is to make you fall in love again with our country. Our beloved country is rich culturally and historically. We can sense that diversity. Excuse me a minute, please. I'm so sorry. كيف دايرين لاباس؟ تفضل إن شاء الله مش مشكلة كورونا ونرجع أصلا الدار. Our beloved country is rich culturally and historically. We can sense that diversity while browsing radio stations, tasting our delicious food, trying on our fancy clothes, and also while inquiring about our history. As Moroccans, we are mostly known for our hospitality, respect for each other, and also for tolerance and coexistence between citizens despite their differences. Through the ages, Morocco had adopted many religions. They were all able to live together peacefully and live in harmony in only one country. Some of the most common religions that existed in our country are Judaism, appeared way before Jesus Christ. Christianity appeared during Roman times. Atheists, which are al-Mulhidin, appeared first 1928, and also Buddhists since 1947. While these I've mentioned were in fact just a portion of many others. But the religion that truly marked our country's history is Judaism. Did you know that it has already been 2,000 and 500 years of Jewish history in our country. Crazy, right? Well, their settlements in North Africa can be traced in time long before the birth of Islam. There are many different theories about their true origins. Some say Moroccan Jews were indigenous Berbers who converted to Judaism. This theory was supported by Ibn Khaldun. Others may say they were Romans first, then Spanish and Portuguese refugees. But what matters most is that they were able to mix with the Berber community and live in total harmony. Nowadays, Morocco is considered one of the few Muslim countries that still harbor a Jewish population. With the Moroccan Jewish heritage is as diverse as the landscape of our country. This fact adds to the complexity and plurality of the Moroccan identity at large. And Mellah may represent best this coexistence between citizens. For the ones who may not know what Mellah is, well, simply, it's a part of the city only reserved for Jewish people to live in. It first appeared in the 15th century in Fas. Now, let me give you a quick riddle. In Morocco, there is a small city considered as the capital of tolerance and coexistence. It's a place where Muslims and Jews lived in total communion. It's where traditions, cultures, and languages mixed freely without any sense of hatred. Does anyone have an idea about this city? No. Sofro, right. Well, Sofro is a small city near Fas. It's considered as the capital of tolerance and coexistence in Morocco. Over time, Moroccan kings had always worked hard on nurturing this coexistence and kept all citizens safe despite their differences, such as King Sidi Mohammed bin Yusuf, rahimahullah, who warned against anti-Jewish violence. And I would like to shed light on a quick fact. A king in our Muslim society is considered as Amir al-Mu'minin, right? Well, which is referred to the leader of the faithful, not only the leader of Muslims. Interesting. As Moroccan citizens, as we can all witness, we were able to live together peacefully and happily, and live in harmony despite our differences, just in the same circle, just like bees and their beehives. We are all homogeneous, like the mixture of colors, in order to reflect a beautiful rainbow and mesmerizing Morocco. As we all know, Morocco in Arabic is Al-Maghrib, thank you, which is the place where the sun sets. So let us cherish each other and make our beloved country the place where all the hatred, strife, racism, and enmity set and buried deep down. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and you're having a good day. First, let me present myself. My name is Mohamed Abdi Wissal and I'm from the 3rd year of middle school. Today, I'm going to be talking about food, and especially Moroccan traditional food. So I really hope I'm not angry. First of all, let me remind you about some areas where our Moroccan identity is symbolized, such as music, architecture, traditional industry, and the cuisine, which is our main topic today. Before starting, I have a question. When I say Moroccan traditional cuisine, what is the first thing that comes into your mind?
Tagine.
As you can see, each one is something different, and this shows how much our cuisine is diverse. And this shows how much our cuisine is diverse. And as Paul Woolford said, Moroccan cuisine is an adventure on your table. And this is actually true, because our cuisine is diverse, original, delicious, and combines between a lot of origins, such as Arab, Berber, Jewish, and much more. As you can know, there are a lot of traditional dishes. Today, we're going to be talking about the three most popular of them. First of all, we have the tagine. Tagine initially referred to the terracotta dish. This casserole dish provides a very special cooking method in Berber origin. It is also designed to withstand higher and longer cooking temperatures. Then, we have couscous or ta'am. Couscous, and according to UNESCO, best represents the culinary culture of Morocco and Maghreb countries in general. It has regional characteristics, it is loyal with 7 vegetables, and it is also suitable for all families, regardless of whether they are poor or rich. Last but not least, we have pastilla. Pastilla can be as sweet as it can be a salt dish, but the first pastilla made here in Morocco was the pigeon and almond pastilla. Some researchers say that it is originated from Al-Andalus, but others dispute this and confirm that the basic recipe is from a Berber origin. Moroccan spices. In addition to a wide variety of Moroccan traditional dishes, our cuisine has a unique flavor, thanks to the spices and aromatic herbs that provide it. Let's now talk about some sweet stuff, some Moroccan traditional cookies or pastries. As you all know, Ramadan is next week, inshallah. So, Keishin Krog, she's doing well, she's low. So, our Moroccan traditional pastry is usually made with almonds and honey, and mostly accompanied by a mint tea. It is also done in very special circumstances, such as Ramadan, as I said, Eid al-Fitr, marriage, etc. As you can know, in Morocco, we have some local cuisine for each region. In ours, which is the east of Morocco, we have some specialties such as bouka, bisous, cake, and karan, very popular here in Oujda.
Yes.
So now, before moving to the other slide, I have a question. Don't you think that there is something missing in this presentation? Something very important in each Moroccan traditional meal?
Yes, of course.
Bread, yes.
Bread.
Bread is one of the most important things in a Moroccan traditional table. We have some sort of breads, such as the traditional bread baked in a clay oven, but both usually made in Ramadan, and tafanout, which is a specialty from the south of Morocco, and especially Agadir. Let me finish this presentation by showing you some tweets that I found on Twitter talking about our Moroccan traditional cuisine. And believe me, I was so proud and happy while I was reading them. So let me read for you some of them, such as Moroccan Jewish bread. Just by looking at it, you see the originality of Moroccan cuisine. Maybe Casablanca spices, delicious in the Moroccan cuisine. Really love them. So by these beautiful words, I would say thank you for listening to me. I hope I gave you more information about our Moroccan traditional cuisine, and enjoy your tea. Hawa.
Thank you, dear friends. So, hi, hello, bonjour, salam alaikum. If I have another way to say it, I will, but I don't. So, my name is Belim Jarad, and today, as you all know, we will shed light about Moroccan cultural diversity. But before we get started, I would deeply like to thank every single person present here and today for making this project a reality. So thank you so much. So, as part of the cultural classes organized by our school, A meeting with another within the regional library of that took place last week. The theme of the meeting was around the wealth and the diversity of cultural forms in Morocco, especially about a topic that we all adore, from kids to teenagers to adults, which is none other than cultural musical art in Morocco. Yes, let's talk about music. So, the author started the debate with a question, which in return I'm really thrilled to ask you guys. What are the different musical types that you know in Morocco? أنواع الموسيقية. Yes, come on, let me see your Moroccan side. Come on guys, come on. Gnawa, Shaggy, yes, yes, right, yes, good one. Yes, yes, my favorite, thank you. Yes, thank you guys. So, as you said, we have the Berber music, we have the Andalusi classical music, the Gnawa music, and the Rai music. Before we move to the next part, I would like to play a kind of game with you guys. Are you ready? Yes. No. I said, are you ready? Yes, that's what we like passion, yes. So, I'll play a part of music and you guys will try to find which type of Arabic music is it, okay? Let's get started with the first type of music. Music, please. Which type of music is it?
Andalusian music.
Andalusian music, yes, good Moroccan, thank you. The next music. Music, please. Yes, thank you. And the third and last part is yes, what type of music is it? Yes, thank you. Right music. Thank you guys. Good, you are good Moroccans. So, as you said, then we all agree that Morocco has a multi-ethnic society and knows a rich cultural diversity in music with flavors of Berber, Spanish, Arabic, and Saharian music. Berbers, indigenous North African, have a proud folk heritage. So I suggest that today we'll discover and together in this type of music. So here is the Moroccan's map. In the south, we have the Sus Tashahit. Was the Sus Tashahit. Then, in the west, we have the Atlas Ahidus. And finally, my favorite, Rif Husimo. Enjoy the music. Thank you. So, you all thought they seemed very different
These types of music have many things in common, which make Berber music appreciated not only nationally, but also globally. This resemblance is manifested through the strength of the words and the harmony of the poetry, which touches the soul to the core. I mean, when you listen to this Amazigh type of music, you feel it all over your skin. Not to mention that in all this type of music, men and women dance side by side, which is a marvelous and a breathtaking show. So, while we were moving to the next point, a comrade class of mine punched like a popcorn and asked, "Mister, what about the musical instruments used in Berber music?" Yes, what about it? So, we all know that in this Berber music, we have different musical instruments, such as El Tamra. El Tamra, which is a purely Berber wind music instrument. Next to it, we have Lutar. Lutar, which is a Berber plucked string instrument, classically in wood. Then we have Al-Ghaidam, which is a dull sounding strings. You know, the kind of high wood that snake charmers play on Jamaica. And finally, we have Al-Banjir. We all know what a banjir is, don't we? We all love to play with banjirs. So, yes, we have Al-Banjir. So, the real question here is, what are the efforts of Morocco to preserve this cultural diversity? In order to preserve the cultural diversity, the Ministry of Culture organizes a thematic festival every year. For instance, the Festival Music Sacré, which is held annually in the Medina of Fez. Yes. Then we have the Gnawa Festival, which is annually held in Soweto. The Ahidus Festival is the next one, which is held in Khnifra. And finally, we have the Rai Festival, which is held in our city, Oujda. Yes, thank you. So, all in all, the maintaining of culture is what allows us to identify and to concretize our existence in this world. And that is the reason why Morocco has set among his top priorities the protection of its diversity and the preservation of its cultural heritage. Consequently, I'm very, very proud to be Moroccan, and so should you. Even thought you won't find better, as the famous adage goes, East or West, home is the best.
As we expected, it was a masterpiece. I want to thank Les Elites and Kalio for the opportunity they offered to us. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed our public speeches performance. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حضور الكريم، كلمة أرددها كلما فتحت لي الفرصة لحضور حفلات ومسابقات فن الخطابة. يقول رولان بارت: كان الكلام دائما مقرونا بالقوة. أن تتكلم إذا يعني أن تمارس السلطة. We were just baffled at the way you exercised your knowledgeable authority on the audience on the one hand, on the jury members, and definitely on those people you yourselves have invited to attend the ceremony. A word of thanks should go to Calliope team because they have offered me thousands of opportunities to crop up in a number of schools and institutions almost all around Morocco and listen and watch primary school students, secondary school students talking and enjoy the very way they're exercising their scientific, knowledgeable authority on us. Thank you, Calliope, for this. The jury and myself were a little bit perplexed for one single reason, and that's because you were all together fabulous.
Thank you.
I have no reason to tell you lies, but I felt like it was a little bit more than a public speaking competition. Why don't you stop applauding until I finish? Okay, what was I saying, Umayma?
It was fabulous.
Good. It was marvelous. It was marvelous, like I said, for one big single reason, and that's because you did more than a presentation. All of you. You did something I would locate between a presentation and a show. Which is not very frequent. I have attended almost 1,000 public speaking competition, and I have seen people talking, presenting, and then leaving the floor for the next one to talk. Today, we enjoyed not only the content of what you were saying, of your presentations, but also the way you were doing it, and the material you brought from different regions, from different places, homes and neighborhood, and Figuig, where is Figuig? Thank you for the dates. Okay.
I gave her.
Okay. I was saying, Calliope team and myself, how we will live long enough to be back again to your school and see you and talk to you again and enjoy the moments you have offered us. Very big pleasure for us all together. Thank you.
Well, I would like to thank you for having us today. It's a great pleasure to celebrate this first edition with you guys. You've done a great job. You're all winners for us, so thank you for the great job you've done. So, let's start with the third place. Okay? So, the third place goes to Khatash Hiba. Stay with us. Don't leave us. Come here. So, the second place goes to Mehedin Ayoub. Now the moment of truth, right? All the merit goes to you, teacher. Thank you. You've done a great job. Thank you so much. So, the first place goes to Amraoui Marwa.
يحضر معها الآن ها من خطوط التربية الوطنية بطبيعة الحال، مفتش من مؤلفي الكتب المدرسية.